Shalom everybody, B'siyata Dishmaya. We are back in the Alshech after all of us were sick and healed. Just a hint to this I saw over Shabbat. It says, Sheva Yipol Tzadik Vekam. Sheva Yipol Tzadik Vekam, right? The righteous will fall 7 times, but he gets up. Right? That's what makes him righteous, that everybody falls, but he gets up, he continues to get up. The Sofet Evot, the last letters of those words, is Amalek. Amalek, why is he hinted there? Sofet, just another hint. Rashet Evot, if it's the first letter of the word, it's always Chesed. If it's the last letters of the word, it's always a sign for Din. A Sofet Evot usually always represents a harder message. So that's why you see Amalek at the end of these words. Why is he there? Because Amalek tries to hold on to that point of that you fell 7 times. He tries to tell you, look, you fell 7 times. And he doesn't want you to get up. He doesn't want to allow you to get up. So in these months that we're fighting Amalek and his whole entire power, B'ezrat Hashem, may we continue to get up here in the Alshech Academy for the leaders, the teachers, the students, and everybody involved, B'ezrat Hashem. The class today, Derech Hashem, is B'ezrat Hashem sponsored in Ilui Nishmat Tzvi Ben Ari HaKohen, B'ezrat Hashem. We have an immense aliyah, and also for the refuah shlema of a dear friend of mine, my father's, Yaakov ben Dina. Last time we were in Derech Hashem, we were talking, the Ramchal was explaining to us the parts of the creation and their different situations and how you can find them, where they're rooted, where the physical is influenced by. We're all influenced by more ethereal powers. That has a ishtalshalut, a development that comes down and affects us here physically. And we talked about angels, we talked about shadim, we talked about human beings, free will, and all of that. So go back and check it out in the last one. And we left off on the seventh part of the 5th chapter. And it goes like this. Now the Ramchal is going to try to explain to us. He's going to explain to us, we will try to understand it, where is evil rooted in? How do you even have a thing that's called bad or evil or negativity? Since Hashem in His great wisdom decreed, Hashem wanted there to be good and negative, good and the lack of good, right? Like we've mentioned before. The beginning of good and evil has to be rooted in the root, in the supernal root, in the ethereal root. After it happens up there, it's going to continue to develop down here. Hashem, with His wisdom, made it that these ethereal beings, this ethereal reality up above, will be the root for everything that happens down here in the creation. Whether it's by way of the order that they're in, the fashion that they're in, that they should come out of there, right? Out of these ethereal beings, whether it is the fact of tikkun, of rectification, or kilkul, or a disorder, or a lack of rectification.
He's referring to Adam Kadmon.
I don't know to go there, Rav. I'm not on your level yet. You can find up there a situation of good or not good. It's all in preparation that there should be this light that's emanating from there, a continence of Hashem that shines, and then that will flow down here. And the opposite is that there should be this lack of preparation, this lack of revelation of the continence of Hashem. And then there will be, so to say, this ignoring, this disappearance of the light of Hashem. And like we learned before in the beginning of the book, that what is blessing, what is good? Hashem shining His face, Hashem's continence being revealed. And what is negativity? The lack of Hashem shining His face. It's not that negativity is anything real, it's the lack of good. Right? The way that this comes down here in this lower realm is that if there's good up there, there'll be good down here. And if not, then the opposite. Right? That's all it is. It's either it's good, or the good is concealed, and then it's the opposite. וצריך שתדע, you have to know, כי הנה אף על פי שבאמת סיבת כל ענייני הטוב בכל מקום שהם פירוש בין בכוחות בין בתולדותיהם, הנה היא הארת פניו יתברך כמו שזכרנו. What is good? What is the reason and the cause of all good, whether up there or down here? Hashem shining his countenance, Hashem giving over bracha. וסיבת הרע בכל מקום שהוא העלם הערתו. What is the cause of bad in any place, up there or down here? The lack of Hashem shining his countenance. The lack of the illumination of Hashem. אמנם לטוב יתואר האדון ברוך הוא בשם סיבה, ממש לכללה ולפרטיו. When it comes to the good, Hashem is defined as the cause, whether it's in the general aspect or in the finer details, anything that's considered good, it came from Hashem. אבל הרע לא נתארו סיבה ממש, כי אמנם אין הקדוש ברוך הוא מייחד שמו על הרעה. When it comes to the negativity that we experience in this world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't unify his name, he doesn't combine his name with things that are considered bad. Hashem won't put his name as the cause for something bad. It's interesting to understand. So now we have to figure, so then what's the cause of bad? If Hashem is the cause of all good, then where does bad come from? אלא העלם אורו והסתר פניו יחשב לשורש לו. העלם אורו והסתר פניו יחשב לשורש לו. What is bad? Where does the bad come from? It's not that Hashem created bad and it's like, here, let's send bad energy to the world. Chas v'chalila to say something like that. The lack of Hashem's light and the concealment of Hashem's countenance, that is what is defined as the root of negativity. This is the real true cause of negativity. This is on the fact that there's a lack of good. אבל בפרטי עניינו במציאותם, הנה האדון ברוך הוא שהוא כל יכול ואין ליכלתו מניעה ולא גבול כלל. הקדוש ברוך הוא has no limits. There's nothing that can prevent him from doing anything. He's not limited in any way. ברא שורש ומקור פרטי. Hashem created a root and an individual source. מכוון בו התכלית הזה של הוצאת פרטי ענייני הרע. The whole entire idea is that let me create a source that from that place there will be the ability for there to have an outcome of what's called a lack of God consciousness in the world, a lack of revelation of Hashem in the world, and that is the root of negativity. Hashem just created let's say the vacuum, the fact that there isn't continence right now. He didn't create negativity, he concealed. כפי מה ששיערה החוכמה העליונה היא אותו מצטרך למצב הנרצה באדם בעולם. Why did Hashem do this? Why did Hashem create, so to say, this vacuum where there could be a lack of God consciousness? Because Hashem wanted there to be a world of fairness where the man has to work on trying to become better, like we spoke about. And by way of becoming better, he is getting rid of his lacks, right? We all are born with good and lack of good. Right? Our negative traits are lack of good, lack of God consciousness there. Right? When we get angry because we forgot that Hashem sent that person to annoy us. Right? But it's not because the actual person is bad, and it's not because I'm bad. I am not an angry person. I can just have a lack of God consciousness that Hashem sent me a person to test me right now in order for me to become a better person. And that lack of consciousness is what's, so to say, bad. והוא מה שאמר הכתוב, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורח כל. Sorry, I got stuck in the tefillah. Right? This is what it says in Isaiah, in Yeshayahu, Yotzer Or, Hashem formed light, Uvore Choshech, and he created darkness, Oseh Shalom. I read it in English, I don't know what the word means, but it says it makes weal, W-E-A-L. Oseh Shalom, I don't know what this word W-E-A-L means.
The word whole.
Wheel comes from whole?
Whole, like holistic.
Shalom. Shalom is shalem, right? He makes completion, he makes wholesomeness, uvore ra, and he creates negativity. This is from Yeshayahu 45 in the 7th verse. V'inyan ashor hashazeh. The idea of this root is hu klal kochot shonim. This is the the general aspect of all of the different powers that are in the world that develop from there. השתלשלו מהם ענייני החיסרון והרעות כולם בכל הבחינותיהם. From this comes all of the aspects of bad and negativity and all of the different
So the Ra is Bria B'nei Atzmo.
which sounds like a steer to what we said before. Right. But it's maybe just that lack of God consciousness is that was the Bria. Because if everything is Elokut, then there had to be a creation of a lack of Elokut, which doesn't really make sense, but I don't know. בין מה שנוגע לנפש, בין מה שנוגע לגוף, whether it has to do with your soul, whether it has to do with your body, the spirituality or the physicality, בכל פרטיהם למחלקותם, whether it has to do with all of the finer details and all of the individual departments, ועוד נדבר מזה בחלק השני. In the second part of the book that we're about to get up to, we're going to talk about that בסייעתא דשמיא, with the help of God. והנה כלל הכוחות האלה מתנהג לפעול או שלא לפעול, בין בחולו, בין בחלקיו, אחר ההלם אורו יתברך שמו והסתר פניו, כי כפי שיעור ההלם, כך בשיעור זה ניתן לשליטה, לממשלה, אל כלל הכוחות האלה, או אל חלקים ממנו שיפעלו. Hashem leads the world and causes the world and makes all of these things happen, whether we're talking about the general aspect of what's negativity or the parts of it. After Hashem conceals his light and he conceals his face, because according to how much there is a concealment, how much there is a lack of light, so too that will be how much power is given to this vacuum, this vacancy, to bring down negativity into the world. Right? When these powers, this vacuum and this negative powers start to become stronger in their domain, there will be a weakening of the good and the natural status of the world, which is good, right? In the root, everything is good. There will be a weakening of that reality. And if that's what happens in the root, then if the root is weak, then the branches are also going to be weak. When you subdue the negativity, when you push down the badness, right, then the natural outcome is there's an amplification of good. This is the secret of what we say every day during the winter, 3 times a day. If you flip it, right, then you have Morid HaGeshem and Moshiv HaRuach. If you put down the Gashmiut, if you put down the physicality, if you put down the negative, the lack of God consciousness, you will Moshiv HaRuach, you will return the spirituality, you will amplify the spirituality. And you will rectify the root of all of creation. They will now be established in their good situation, their good status that they should be in. They will be strengthened, and also their branches will be strengthened. ואולם כל מה שזכרנו מענייני הטוב והרע, מלחמת השכל והחומר וכל ענייני תיקון וקלקול ושורש כל העניינים כולם, הם התגברות הכוחות האלה והגיעה בעניינם ותולדותם ונבראים בשורשים וענפים, או בהכנעתם וביטול פעולתם והסיר עניינם ותולדותם מן הנבראים שורשים וענפים. הבנת? אני לא. It's getting hot in here. Baruch Hashem. Everything that we mentioned, from the ideas of good and negativity and the war between the intellect and the spiritual and the physical, and all the ideas of tikkun or kilkul, of rectification or of damage, the root of all of these things are is the amplification of these powers, meaning God consciousness or lack of God consciousness up above, and then that starts to develop and progress down here into the offspring of those powers, which are all of the creations. And from the root, it affects the branch, and it's either you're taking the good and you're subduing it underneath the bad, or you're taking the bad and subduing it underneath the good. No matter what you do, you're going to be nullifying the other side or amplifying the other side. והנה חילוקי מדרגות הרבה יש בעניין כוחות הרע שזכרנו והנשפע מהם. There's many different levels when it comes to what we've talked about here in this negativity and these negative sides of things. There's many different things that come out of this reality. בדרך כלל נקרא לנשפע מהם. Usually when we talk about what comes out of there being a lack of God consciousness up above, we call that either tuma, hoshech, zoama, chol, chayotze bo. We either call it impurity, which I don't really like the word impurity, even though that's the common translation. Tuma really is a lack of potential, like he's explaining, right? What's the biggest thing of tuma in the whole entire world?
A dead person.
A dead person, right? Why? He was alive, he was filled with potential, and now he's not. Now he has no potential. That lack of potential is what's called tuma, right? You were tameh until you went to the mikveh and you went to the Beit HaMikdash, and then you were tahor. In the Beit HaMikdash, you were maximum potential. You had removed all lack of potential. You came back to your normal status, and now you're filled with potential. A woman, when she's going through her cycle, right? She's tme'ah. Not that she at her core is. She's in a status of tuma. Why? She can't give birth. She can't conceive. Right? She's not able. She has no potential to do what she's meant to do. Once that cycle is done and she goes to the mikveh, she is now tehora. She is now able to conceive. And usually she's at the maximum ability to conceive when she comes out of that mikveh. Right? And ולנשפע מהארת פניו יתברך שמו נקרא קדושה וטהרה או ברכה כיוצא בזה. When you have this influence of an illumination of the countenance of Hashem's face, right, Hashem's shining on a person, the outcomes of that are called kedusha, sanctity, tahara, purity, or light, or bracha, blessing, or so on and so forth, the positive terms. אבל בהבחנת פרטי עניינים נבחין מיני הסוגים האלה בפרטיהם שעליהם סובבת כל ההנהגה שהאדון ברוך הוא מנהג את עולמו. There's many different things here. He's going to go through this in the book, obviously, right? But there's many different ways that Hashem leads the world, and really it comes down to shining continents, concealing continents. Shining Hashem's light in the world, removing Hashem's light in the world. If there's a lack of God consciousness and Hashem's reality, then there is tuma, zuama, kilkul, all these different things. And if there is Hashem shining His face, then there's tikkun, bracha, or all these good positive things. When it comes to all of these ideas, there are secretaries, there are people that are appointed to do a certain job, and they rule over for Hashem. Hashem put these powers in force to rule over the playing of revelation or lack of revelation back and forth. Misuga malachi sheberanu lemala. They come from the angelic species of creation. They're a spiritual creation, right? But they're still a creation. They're just spiritual, what we call angels. They are in charge of all of this giving over or remove or lack of giving over. Lotzia dvarim lipol ad agashmiut. For it to come from the lack or the giving up there and then to develop down here to good or bad, there's an angel that's in charge of all of that. There's many angels that are in charge of this progression of what's happening in the source and bringing it down here into the physicality. Im latov, im lamutar. Whether it's good or for even better. They are the servants of Hashem, blessed be He, doing His word, doing His will. This is what Hashem desired. This is what Hashem sorted out the world. Huh? They're not bad angels. That's the thing. There's no such thing as a bad angel. A bad angel would mean that he has free will to go against Hashem. No angel has free will to go against Hashem. They are angels that are appointed over concealing the light of Hashem. Right. And they're good angels because they're doing Hashem's will. They're listening to Hashem. Hashem said, conceal my light. And from the concealment of light, there will come for us, in our eyes down here, according to your level, what appears as either bad or not good, right? But the angel that is doing that concealment, he's a good angel. Every angel is a good angel. They're just doing Hashem's will. There's no such thing as a bad angel. That's Christianity, right? ושתהיינה גזרותיו יוצאות למעשה על ידי מלאכיו כפי מה שהפקידם ומסר בידם. Hashem makes decrees and he wants them to come into actuality. The being that causes Hashem's decree to be revealed into this world from the source all the way till it's revealed here is called an angel. An angel, there's many different angels that do this. They are in charge of, right, again, we explained this last time not last time, but a few times ago. Malach. Malach in Hebrew, and also angel in Greek, is the word messenger. Messenger. A malach is a messenger. Hashem made a decree. There's a messenger in charge of making sure that that decree is carried out in this world. Right? That is what an angel does. And Hashem gives everyone a certain job to do, and that's their job, to bring it out into the world. Bezat Hashem. Up until now, b'siyata dishmaya.